This is FanSpeak, a weekly live show where the fans of comics and its community are our guests. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. This is FanSpeak for the 18th of January. We're almost out of the month, Thundero. What's going on?
It's too fast. Somebody hit the brakes. Somebody hit the brakes.
Right? Right? I mean, it's too fast, but I mean, it's the reality. And things are moving along, and I have things on my calendar which are very cool. Like Oren goes to get a haircut. My dog. I have to go to Oita. Ooh, I have to go to Foodway next week to pick up cheddar cheese. My life is mundane. But that's okay. But nevertheless, happy to have you guys in here. We're going to be talking a little bit about comic book news and some general entertainment news as we do. Do check out those links down below. Hit that share button, please. As usual, we are live streamers. We like to have people in here with us, and of course, hit that subscribe and like button and make Dinale happy and Booster happy. And they really want to get to 1,000 people, so let's see if we can't do that. I guess I think it'd be kind of cool too. We're starting at 8:52, 8:54, something right now. So it's come along though. It's come along. You guys also noticed that we have Todd Maroney in here. How you doing, Todd?
Doing great. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you just fine, dude. But see, the problem is Streamlabs decided to add this whole bar that it didn't ask for onto my thing, which scrunched up my screen. So you're a little teeny thing, I'm almost 50. You know, the eyes don't do well when you get older. Just so you know.
Mhm.
Well,
Yeah, it doesn't take long for them to go downhill either. That's out of nowhere. All of a sudden, you just don't
uh,
see well.
No, dude, it's serious. I mean, it hits you. Because the aches and pains and things as you get older is not a big deal for me particularly because I mean, I have Erb's palsy in my left arm or my left shoulder, right? So, I have pain all day anyway. I mean, it's just had that since I was born. So I don't. That's actually probably a blessing because those things don't bug me. But the eyesight thing, dude, that sucks, man. That really sucks. I used to have really bad ass eyes. Now they don't work with glasses on and they don't work with them off.
Yeah, I'm getting there. I keep telling my wife I need to. I'm probably gonna have to go get some glasses because my vision is just. It's not good. It's not good
Yeah.
at all.
Now, Todd here is the oldest amongst us, so I'm kind of curious if he has an opinion on it.
On glasses?
Yeah, on eyesight.
I have glasses. No, the reason why I'm actually a digital artist was my eyesight changed. Now, when I sit here and I
Ah, makes
think
sense.
about that, right? I sit here and think about that. It seems like it's changed back, but that may not be the case. When you experience something like that, then your brain's a very complex thing. So maybe it has adjusted to the change, and I don't like where it was bothering me the most, and why I even sought out glasses was driving when it was raining, and it's that
Ah,
double glare and stuff that you
yeah,
get
yeah,
from the headlights and
yeah.
stuff at night.
You have to
So that
clean your
used to like
windshield sometimes.
boggle that used to boggle my mind, like how distracting and how overwhelming that was.
Yeah.
So that's when I went and got glasses. But I also did experience that change, and you know I'm really happy for it. You know what I mean? I mean happy for like going digital and getting the equipment and getting the tech
Yeah.
and figuring it all out. That I've become a better artist.
Oh, there you go. Well, you know what I really want though? I want to know where my cyber eyes are. Where are those? I mean,
Oh,
I mean, right? Well, they did that surgery what, 15 years ago or 10? Yeah, about 15 years ago, where they finally were able to reconnect an eye. Because one of the problems they were having with that is the nerve endings in the eye are so small that it was very difficult. But they had this doctor that came up with a procedure, and they were able to reconnect an eye. So okay, well there you go. You get that was a long time ago. So where's the cyber eyes? I want my cyber eyes, Thundero.
Yeah, I know. It's BS. I want my cyber eyes. I want my jetpack. I want my flying cars.
Yeah,
We were
damn
lied
it.
to.
We
We
were
were lied.
lied to. God damn it. Yeah. And I would love to get rid of this damn shoulder, this left arm, just get a new one. That would be really nice. Damn. There's a
Oh
few
yeah,
things I'd replace.
me too. Actually,
Booster would be one of them.
I can't even get him to wake up. I don't know where he is. It says he's online, but then I message him and he doesn't answer me, so I don't know where he's at.
It's only 2 o'clock in the afternoon for him. That's barely morning. Come on now. Anyway, let me go over to the chat, see what you guys are doing before we jump into it here. We got Roger Heller says, right on, it's Saturday. I won't be the same without some great comic news with Chester Busby and the gang. That's sweet. Roger always says the nicest things, dude. You ever read Roger's little post he puts in here, man? He's a cool guy. He's a very nice guy. Uh,
Oh yeah.
Jennifer's Jennifer H says, Titan Mouse of Might. Get your copy. I've got mine. Please do. That book looks really good. I mean, that's the thing. See, some of us over here have been harping on Gary Shipman since the beginning, right? But when we first came on and found him, when basically Mike Miller introduced him to us, right? And everyone talk about these other pros, which is awesome. I mean, they're all talented and I love them. But Gary Shipman from the beginning, I was like, no, that's something special right there, dude. Right? And that is one of the most sellable characters I have seen in quite a while, dude. Yeah? Have you guys seen that Titan Mouse yet?
I have seen glimpses of it. That's about it.
That
Yeah, I've
is
seen.
way marketable, dude. Yeah. And cool, Of course, he worked and did a lot of Disney stuff for, Disney English, so he has a lot of experience with marketability, I guess. But awesome. It is awesome. You're right, Jennifer. DeWolf says, send me a link to Twitter. Huh? Are you having some kind of trouble, dude?
I don't know. He's not on Discord. I was gonna send it to him, but I don't have a I don't have a Twitter.
Uh, all right. I'll try to do that. Todd, entertain the masses.
um, well, what was your first piece of news? I bring it up and
Oh, no,
and
just
I'll
read the chat. Just keep reading the chat where I try to go help out DeWolf here. I don't know what kind of trouble he's having.
read the chat. All right, because I wasn't really watching us, but now I will. Give me a sec.
Okay.
You see any chat from there?
I do, actually.
Right.
Okay, I'll read the chat for old Boomer Chester here. All right, so James F. See, I had to lean in. My eyes are bad. This is why I need glasses. Beverage. Those eyes probably still in development. I would assume he's referring to your bionic eyes that you want, Chester.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Jennifer H says Popular Science has said we would have all kinds of great stuff by now. I know they're a bunch of liars. Don't listen to them. They lied to me.
They do.
Everyone.
They are liars. They are. Yeah.
Let's see. A couple people say hello there. Wild Food said, "Got my Titan and the mug." So he's all set. He's good to go. Or
That is
she.
cool. That is
I don't
cool.
know what Wild
Yeah.
Food is. And Dark Admiral March Hare, which has just a crazy name. Hi all, listening along while driving. Let's see if there's anything else up here you missed. Jennifer said no booster, sad face. I'm out of here. I replied to her
Oh.
with a sad face,
Oh.
and she just said she's kidding. Yeah, that's about it. It's not very talkative over there, Chester. Did you get it sent off too old?
I got it done. I'm finished. And
There
here
he
he
is.
comes to robot away the morning with us. It's going to be nice. So welcome, Dwarf. How you doing? So
You again?
all right. Well, let me do this. I'm going to share my screen, and then I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do that, and we're going to go over and start talking about some news. You ready?
Whoa, wait a second. What?
Oh, that's right. I forgot. It's FanSpeak. Damn it. All right. It's my apologies. So, are you? Before we move on to that, of course, we have to do something we do every week on FanSpeak. It is the chairman's address. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So today things are a little bit different. I'm here in the kitchen. I've been chopping away, laboring away, chopping, and I have
Yeah,
in
say
front of me
hi.
at the moment a whole big batch of. Oh my goodness! Can I get this up here? A whole big batch of salsa that we're all going to enjoy and eat, and it got me away from my normal area, and it made me realize what making comics has to do with cooking, because there's all this preparation that you go into. You get together your artists and your tomatoes and your writers and your printers and your onions, and you start working on everything. As you work on it, all this stuff, it all has to go into the pot. And usually, right, all those things have a time in those recipes that say wait an hour or put in the oven for 30 minutes. So there's a lot of time involved. And you can't just go in there and pull that thing out. If you don't wait until everything's ready, then you end up with a bad soup, you end up with a bad cake, whatever it is. You end up with a bad comic.
Dementia.
So
Mm.
dimension. so so when you're working with that, you got to give your writers time. Give your writers time. Now, of course, all these things take a specific amount of time as well. You know what it takes to chop something or write something. Give them that extra time to get that done. Your artist as well. If you're a creator and you have an artist, you go ahead and you give them that time. And if things don't happen exactly as you think, wait a little bit. If you're out there on Twitter and you see something happen and someone hits a like on something, wait a little bit. Give things time to stew before you jump out there and think, well, I need to take care of this, because you may not need to. Once you add too many spices, you add in more spiciness, you might ruin whatever is going on. So that's just a little tip today from the kitchen. It's what I'm saying. What are the fans saying? Welcome to FanSpeak.
Well, thank you very much, Julia. That was awesome. Claps all around.
That was awesome.
Right?
Okay,
I
fine.
think
deserve it.
I think the wolf should, whatever he's doing right now, he should do that all the time, because he didn't robot a single
Hmm.
time
Hmm.
there. It was perfect reception, crystal clear. He's a beautiful man.
Beautiful
That's
man.
what we need.
I'm on my phone.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Your phone's
There
better
it is.
than your computer. How sad.
That my computer. Thank you both.
That's funny.
That was
Okay.
perfect, though.
Okay.
All right, now that's cool. Yeah, of course I agree with you always. That's why you're the chairman. And also, when you hold up knives, just understand, everybody knows you're an assassin. It's terrifying. All right.
Right?
All right,
It's
exactly.
just veggies and stuff.
Yeah, huh. For now. For now. For now. Yeah. And they do. They lie about all kind of tech, though. Just to kind of finish up on that before I go into the first news. I mean, everything. But we don't have our flying cars. We don't have our jetpacks. They say Viagra lasts 4 hours. It barely lasts 2. I mean, come on. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Anyway, hey, funny morning. All right, here we go. Let me do what I was going to do before, but of course, always happy to have the chairman over here. Now, of course, I had mentioned that I'm going to move this show to Wednesday, to the Wednesday show, which I think is actually going to be better because that's hump day, right? That's right in the middle of the week. Hopefully, we just have more people. I mean, we don't have much to do on Wednesday, right? It's just, you kind of got
Hump
hump day, right? So we're gonna move it over there. Same format though. And actually, I probably have a guest for next week set up. It'll be our first, or no, second guest of the year. And I have to wait for full confirmation, but it should be fun. Haven't talked to him in a while, and I always enjoy talking to him. So we are moving that over, and this on today, on Saturday, I won't have any show at all. So what we're going to do is have TFT on Sunday. We'll have the California show on Monday. Comics news today. On Tuesday, we're going to have Bugbear's Basement. On Wednesday, we're going to have FanSpeak, and on Thursday, we are going to have Drawn Recorded Pro Edition only, with cutting the morning comics news. I think it's a lot tighter. It's a lot cleaner. It's a lot more efficient for me, especially because I'm just crazy busy. So it's a little bit easier. Once again, if you guys really don't like that, you have some real big problem, or you have some kind of suggestions, just let me know. This is a community channel. It was built that way, and there's no need to change it, right? So just let me know what you think about it, and if there's a real big problem, I'll make some adjustments. But and now he's about to murder some cacti. Uh-oh. No, there's a Oh, goodness gracious. Anyway, so just let me know. But that is format. So next week, FanSpeak's going to be coming at us sooner. It's going to be on Wednesday. And like I said, I think I have a guest. So that should be fun. But anyway, let's go over here and take a look at our first bit of news today and have a laugh because I just didn't know if you guys knew this, but coming from Bounty in the Comics, I like Bounty in the Comics. I think Trent does a really good job. But this girl, who I've seen before, what movies is she in? I've seen her before, right? I recognize her. Her name is Jessica Chastain, and she is rumored to be
Yeah.
in talks to play the Reverse Flash. All right, there it is.
What?
There it is. Because that's what the world needed.
Literally, nobody's asking for this. Like, who are these people who want the Reverse Flash of all characters to have their sex changed?
Yeah, I know. It's weird, and it's like who wants a Reverse Flash anyway? I mean, it's the dumbest name ever.
It
I'm
is
the
a really.
Flash, but in reverse. Yeah.
So is she supposed to be really really slow or something?
Or maybe. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. But it's funny. It's funny. I would just mention this earlier. Um, they don't get it, man. Right? Like, I like to watch a bunch of stuff on YouTube, and I'm sure you guys do too. One of the things I love is sailing, right? And I watch a lot of sailing shows and about building boats and rebuilding them because I'm kind of doing something similar myself. And I always love it when you have those. I don't watch these a lot, but you have like these family vlogs, right? And it's just a family sailing around the world and just their adventures. It's kind of almost like a reality TV, I guess. And sometimes it'll be just a guy by himself, right? And then there's like one or two is just a girl. But here's the thing, and it's a good comparison, I think. The dude comes out there and he shows you some trouble he's had and how he fixed it, or a mistake he made and how he found his way around it, or just something. He's just explaining how his life and the difficulties of sailing, et cetera, et cetera. And that's it. The girl always comes out and she always has to say, well, because I'm a woman, I can do it. Women, I could be women, over and over and over. And it's like, who cares that you're a female? Just tell us about your damn thing, right? The dude never mentioned he was a male ever, not once, right? They always are on this, and it's like right well, as her playing Reverse Flash, it's always going to be about how she's a woman doing something and how that's more important than the actual character itself, and it's just irritating to me.
Yes, and it's just, I mean, how bottom of the barrel are we going to scrape here? Now we're going to change the Reverse Flash's gender because I don't know, it makes him feel powerful, I guess. I mean, at the end of the day, what does it actually accomplish? Nothing. The character is completely irrelevant in the grand scheme of things. It's not the Flash. He's not a character who's going to sell a bunch of stuff just by being, oh, they swapped his gender. I'm going to go see that. This just simply doesn't work. They've been doing this for about what 6, 7 years now with big time
Yeah, yeah.
hard with these swaps. It doesn't work. It's never show me the place where it worked. There's not been one place where it's worked and brought in more sales or more revenue. None that I can think of. So if somebody's got one, I'd love to see it because I've never seen it.
Yeah, and I am sure, as we all know, that there are plenty of female goodies and baddies that you could bring in. You don't need to switch things over; just choose another character, right?
Hmm.
So but it's not the. But the thing is, when they do that, when they bring in an established female character, it's not as preachy because they're just it's already established, so they're just playing the character. But when they do these gender swaps, they're always preaching to you, always, and it's
Yes.
like, oh, come on now, right? Have you even any of you even seen the new Doctor Who? I mean, that is cringe-tacular, dude. Right?
They've basically become you remember like the late '90s and early 2000s? There was a lot of like some were good, but there was a lot of really cringy like Christian shows on mainstream TV and stuff because it was really popular. They've basically become that, but the other direction. It's still super cringy because they're just preaching to you the whole time, but they think they're doing this big thing, and it's so important. I remember watching those same types of people on those really cringy Christian shows that were out, talking about how important their show is because it just brings hope to the world. It's the same thing, right? But we're battling toxic masculinity and the patriarchy. No, you're not. You're making a TV show or whatever it is. Nobody cares. Literally
I'm
nobody.
offended.
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
offended.
Yeah,
But
I
you're
know.
right. But you're absolutely right. So I can't really, you know.
Uh, well, you know what? If they bring her in, however, because the Reverse Flash is a real bastard. I mean, that's an asshole, right? He's a
Mhm.
really bad one, right? Now, if they bring her in as the Flash and she takes the Morgan Le Fay route, oh, all right, I might be on for that.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. Yeah, they gotta. That's the other thing that they have to do when they do these swaps. More often than not, the character changes in a very subtle but dramatic way,
Uh,
or sometimes in an overt way, and that's something you that kills anything you were trying to do. Because the point of this is I would assume to prove that women can do this too. See, it's fine. It doesn't gender doesn't matter, and then you make character changes to the way the character behaves, proving that gender absolutely does matter. So, so it's a completely pointless exercise in whatever they were trying to prove. They often disprove, just like the Ghostbusters movie where they swapped all the Ghostbusters into women or whatever you want to call it. That movie was terrible. It wasn't funny, and the reason it wasn't funny is because the type of humor they were trying to do is male humor. It should be delivered by a man.
yeah,
Then it's funny. When a woman does it, it just comes off as try hard or cringy or just embarrassing when they try and be funny in that same fashion. Women can be funny, but they have a different type of humor that usually is that works for a female to a male audience
yeah,
and vice
true.
versa.
Yeah, it's true. And the real problem that they don't understand this because they won't refuse to break it down is that when you about the point you're talking about, men we can do self-deprecating humor, right?
Hmm.
It works just fine for us because we're expected to take the burden as it were. Women though it doesn't work. Self-deprecation doesn't work with women at all, and the reason is because it's built into your DNA that's the potential mother, right? And you don't laugh at mom.
Hmm.
I mean, it's a DNA thing, dude. I mean, you can't get away from it. But anyway, Bullet might have the comment of the evening for me so far up until this point. He says it's like rolling up in a supercar and saying, "Hey, look, I have a supercar." Yeah, dude, that's exactly what it's like. Because you just walk up out of that supercar, just swinging commando, and you just stroll, man. That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Hey,
But
boy, respect your mother.
that's well, right. Respect your mother, right?
Well,
We're
that's
conditioned.
not even a Western thing either. When you try and
No.
go into the East, especially, you can't. Women aren't self-deprecating over there at all because it's for what you're saying. I would imagine is the main reason. That's mom. That's somebody's mom. That's somebody's grandmother potentially,
Yeah.
and that's just not how you look at that person because that's just it's a what's the word I'm looking? It's a pedestal that they're put on, right? It's a status symbol just by being a woman. And I think you're right. I think the fact that when the woman self-deprecates herself, it doesn't come off as funny. It comes off as, especially to men, at least to maybe older men like us, it comes off as I need to help her. What's wrong with her? Like, why are you doing that?
Mm,
It's not a, oh, this is hilarious. Like if some guy's calling himself all kinds of names or falls down a bunch of stairs or something. It just doesn't have the same effect. There is a way to do it, but they never do it, and they never will do it because they're too arrogant to admit that they're wrong.
yeah.
So you'll never ever ever see them do proper funny female because then they have to admit that there's a difference and that they have to do it this way because that's the way it works with
Whoa,
females.
whoa, whoa. You have an instinctual belief inside you that when you see a woman that's in trouble, you want to help her,
Yeah.
Thundaro.
Hmm.
Yes.
What kind of terrible man are you
Yeah. You
Yeah.
misogynist.
to help
Misogynist.
and support a woman? My goodness, it's
It's
awful.
horrible. Horrible. Anyway, I'm moving on this. This way to see if we can find something more positive because I just want to have a laugh at it, and then it got sad. Damn it. All right, next. Ooh. Ooh, this is from Somali. And Dark Theme RPG Black Book coming to PC consoles in 2020. On Thursday, publishers Hypertrain Digital announced that whatever the hell the name is, I can't even see how small it is. I got to get up on top of it. Mortishka, maybe another Baltic company, our card-based RPG adventure Black Book is scheduled to be released on the PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and Steam PC later this year. Cool. Well, you know what I'm going to do? I know a lot of you guys are into PC games or just games, and I know some of you aren't. But I like them, so I'm going to watch it. I clicked it. It's done. It's happening. And Todd is here to call me a nerd, so it's all good. Ooh, look at that. I love these little indie games, you guys. I've mentioned before, right? The indie world is pretty badass, you know. I'll bring
Oh
that
yeah,
down a little
there's
bit
a lot
more.
of really good games that would never make AAA status.
Never, dude. Yeah. And this one looks pretty cool, by the way. Oh. Now, please, Baltic country person, don't copyright claim me, please. I'm trying to help you out here. Trying to help you out. Oh, look at it. It's beautiful, dude. Look at it. Ooh. Ooh.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's very stylized.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Well, it's a cheaper way to go, but it also you can do it cool, right? She's got to stand up. She's got to fight for what's right.
Oh, it's turn-based, huh?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Nerd.
Thank you, Todd. Thank you, Todd. It looks pretty, doesn't it? It looks pretty, doesn't it? I think it looks
Yes.
pretty.
Yeah, it's all right. I don't mind it. I think it would take some eye bleeding for me to get used to that. Some of those shots in there, like the when she was running through the field,
Mm,
that was a little much. But other than that, it looked pretty good. I like the darks look really good in that art style.
yeah,
So it's a really good contrast when they're trying to show an evil character and they just
yeah.
cover it in darkness.
Well, there's definitely a certain aspect of the the video game hobbyist, which is still where we come from that age of the mud, right? So for us to sit down and it's a game where you read. I do apologize for all of those you who are kind of against that, but it's a game where you sit down and you read. And you make decisions, and then you have some little action combats or some little movement choices. For us mud guys, which I loved, I did them for years. I love muds to actually have some nice visual on top of your mud, that's cool, dude. That's an advancement from my point of view. So I absolutely love these kind of things. Another really good series that I love that kind of played on that a little bit was the Telltale Company, like The Wolf
Chester,
Amongst Us and stuff like that. Yeah.
what's a mud?
Right?
Multi-user dungeon.
There you go. Thank you.
Mm. I love Muds. Muds is basically a text-based game where you make decisions. You go left, you go right. It's kind of like a choose your adventure. It's an evolution of that, is what it was. And this for me is just a further evolution. There's a lot of these little games. I like them. I don't know if you guys do or not, but of course I'm a nerd, so. There you go. Let's see. They just choose not to be. See, my vagina. That's right, Emily. I didn't know you had one, but good on you, dude. Having both must be interesting life. Um, wearing your glass. I have my glasses, but see, the problem is, yeah, I have them on, but then if I have to read something, I have to take them off. It's like, I got these. My doctor gave me these bifocals. Damn it, and I hate those things, dude. I hate those things with a passion. I don't. I refuse to wear them. My wife gets mad at me. Um,
Why do you hate bifocals?
because they suck. They're so uncomfortable to wear, dude. They're so uncomfortable. You can't tell they're bifocal. These days, they've become very advanced these days. You can't tell. But you're constantly having to shift what quadrant your eyes are looking at. And there's three quadrants, right? So you're
Hmm.
you're constantly having to so you're choosing the quadrant. So it actually narrows your vision wearing those things. For me, it's just easier just to have glasses on for this and take them off for that. Like when I'm writing,
Yeah.
because I still prefer to write with a pencil. I know, archaic, right? But I take my glasses off when I'm doing that. If I'm watching something on a
I
TV
thought you
or
wrote with like a brush and ink
that would be
Or
awesome.
over
chalk.
there.
I do have that set up, and I do it occasionally. That is my ultimate nerddom right there. But it is messy and time. The modern invention of the pen, it's a pretty badass invention, dude. Uh, uh,
I got progressive lenses, and you're right. I I can't get used to them at all.
They suck, dude. I really hate them. But I mean, eventually it'll get to the point where I won't have a choice and I'll have to wear them. But and they weren't cheap either, by the way. And listen, everyone's in the chat, I'm sure, saying "stupid old people." I do apologize. Oh goodness, the world we
Is that
live
what
in.
they said about old people?
Yeah, they're stupid. Everyone calls me stupid
No,
all the time, Slick.
you just wait, you young freaking, little
What are you talking about?
whippersnappers. You just wait.
All right. Well, goodness gracious, don't do that, Slick. I'm trying to do a show here. All right, let's move on though. I just wanted to mention real quick because Somley put it up, and Somley I think thinks a lot like I do actually. I think it looks beautiful, man. I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, next thing. I want to talk about this a little bit. We get a lot of people on the FanSpeak that will put up their projects and all kind of stuff, right? And that's cool, dude. That's the one thing I really like about the FanSpeak page is everyone's sharing everything. And we talked to the creator of Niobe once, I recall. I do believe there was Niobe on Drawn and Quartered Ultimate Edition as well. This is a Kickstarter they have going on, and they've already made a couple grand. So awesome. I just want to talk a little bit about Niobe. What do you guys think about this character?
Well,
Anybody?
I'm pretty familiar with Niobe Lee.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, I like her. She's a cute little sexy thing, full of powers. She's also kind of a pop star, J-pop kind
Hmm.
of gal.
Yeah.
Uh, and you know, Larry's been doing this for a while now, and he's put out several books, and he just keeps plugging away. So I have a lot of admiration for that. And so you guys need to go out and pick up a copy of this. I have. So yeah, it's worth it. He expends the money he needs to get pretty good art. He's upped his game in this last this next iteration from what he was doing before, and I think it's going to be something that people want to have in their heads. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think it's a good looking character, and he has been pushing at it. You're right. And that's awesome. So if one of my mods in the chat could throw up the link to this, just go check it out. I mean, we usually have them come in and talk about their project, and I know we've spoken to them before, but I just saw it on there, and I was like, hey, let's give a little shout out to Niobe. Anybody else? Oh, look at that cosplay already. Sweet, dude. Anybody else have anything to say?
Unfortunately, I don't really know enough about it to have too much of a opinion on it. To be honest with you.
Well, we had Larry on,
Yeah.
dude. We talked to him.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah. I just wanted to mention that's it. Not no need to spend too much time on it, but
Wait,
I think it's really
which one
cool.
are
And
you on? Are you on Indiegogo or Kickstarter?
he's on Kickstarter. He's on Kickstarter. Yeah, yeah,
All right.
yeah, yeah. So just go check it out, man. And this is a project where the story's interesting and the art is pretty solid. And I don't know who's doing an art. Who's doing the art for this particular one? Is using the same guys before, or is he got a new person? Anybody know?
I believe it's new. I can't remember who it was, but yeah, I believe he's getting another artist. There's been some drama, you know, because of politics and yada yada over the time. So he's gonna move with the times, and he's Larry does a good job of keeping up. But I mean, uh, he also has a tenacity about him to keep doing this thing that he loves. So I admire that absolutely, and he has a lot of fun stuff. If you go and check out and his page here, and you talk if you want to, he's very accessible. So if people want to go find him, it's not that hard to find him and talk with him, and he'll hook you up with all kinds of interesting stories. And he's been in the game for a while. He's also a collector, a massive collector. So he knows a lot of things.
It looks like he's using RB White for the illustrations, a
Oh
Canadian.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. RB White does a lot of covers, and um, he's kind of got a stylization to his gals. He kind of focuses on his cheesecake stuff. Yeah, he's talented.
Yeah. No, I think it's cool. Definitely go check that
That's
out,
awesome.
guys. Yeah, it is.
He's keeping it on the continent. You know,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like when people use local, local people,
Hmm.
so to
So
speak.
understand the chairman hates you if you're not from North America. Rock on. All right, here we go.
You hate my
Yeah.
artist,
Yeah, he
man.
does. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's, yeah.
Joking.
How
All
can
right.
you how can you hate whiskey paint? That's all I'm saying.
Whiskey Pain, yeah.
No, I
You
can't.
know, there is a lot of good international people that are coming in and getting involved, though. It's really cool, actually. But yeah, no, no. Marvel adds Avengers and the Fantastic Four prologues for Empire storyline. Anybody know anything about this Empire storyline? Anybody? Because I don't. First I've heard of it. Two special issues will introduce the players and the stakes of Marvel's big summer comic book epic. Oh, so this is the biannual super epic, super awesome that'll end the universe thing. Okay, cool. April sees the launch of Marvel's Empire's comic book storyline, bring the Fantastic Four and Avengers together for a storyline that the publisher. God, these people who write publisher teases as a cumularization of decades worth of Marvel storytelling. Uh-huh. With that kind of scope, it's not surprising that the story will expand beyond the primary Empire series.
Oh,
Okay,
he said story 4 times in that
I
paragraph.
know,
What do you?
dude. I know.
There's other
Uh,
words that mean
Nobody
story.
pays editors anymore.
no,
Ugh.
it's ridiculous. But the problem is this article doesn't tell me what Empire is. You see. Um, the team
Does it have
faces
something?
some stark choices.
It's
Well, they always
I,
face stark choices. What the hell?
it's a misspelling, unless they're trying to portmanteau
Well,
there.
this is pyre meaning fire. The old,
Yeah,
the
I
Greek,
know, I
right?
know. I don't know. It seems a little trite to me. That's all.
Is
Yeah,
Human
because
Torch over the
well,
world? What's going on
maybe.
here?
Well, empire. Oh, hey, that there you go. That might be something's going on. Empire. The word itself would mean, I guess, simply to enclose a fire, to enclose it, right?
There you
Uh,
go.
so okay. Mm, which is weird because we kind of have a word for that already. Kinda. It's pyramid. You know,
Yes.
because that means a fire in the middle. Which is kind of interesting when you think about the actual definition of the ancient word, a fire in the middle. What could that possibly mean? I wonder. Was it an engine or something like that? I don't know. Anyway, let's not do that. uh, but I don't know. I saw this article. I took I glanced over it, and I was like, why does this
You
exist,
know,
Hollywood Reporter? You don't tell me anything. I have no clue what the hell's going on with it. Uh,
And Graham McMillan, however you say his name, is just not a good article writer at all. Like, just what you read there was, he said story 4 times in one paragraph to describe the exact same thing instead of just using
yeah.
any other word that means story. Just stuff like that, little stuff like that means that this was just thrown together because Marvel probably paid them to,
Oh, I'm
and just
sure.
threw it. That's the end of it.
But give us a little blurb, right? Like right at the beginning. In Empire, we will see, something, something, something happen, right? I mean, just a little blurb,
so
but
Al
something.
Ewing and Dan Slott, huh?
Mm, hmm. Well, wonderful
Okay.
team.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So it doesn't tell you anything. But anyway, if anybody knows what this is, please drop it in the chat because it's the first I've seen of it, and I kind of do comic book news every day. Yeah. Well. But anyway, moving on to something that might actually give us a little bit of information. Oh goodness, this is definitely from Dinale. Disney boss Bob Iger, 2019 pay drop significantly from 2018 level. How exciting! Okay, now I guess what Dinelli would have wanted to talk about, I suppose, is the fact that Bob Iger's ridiculous salary has been somewhat reduced. I don't really know how we can identify with that. Him not getting 65 million, but only getting some 47 million. It's horrible. Um,
Man, he's gonna go on food stamps.
Oh
I
man,
know,
that's just, I don't know how he's going to survive on that. That's ridiculous.
right? But of course,
He's
what Dinelli's
it
trying to
gets me
point
because
out is that the Disney is struggling, is what he's trying to point out. I'm sure.
oh yeah, they're struggling. Yeah, sure. These wealthiest 1% guys though, all the time it's this wealthy. It's these large corporations, wealthiest 1%. that take over industries and push their products on other people by inputting additional materials like the tobacco companies did. Now
Mhm,
Disney's
mhm,
doing it.
mhm.
It just drives me crazy.
Yeah. Well, you know how a long time ago I said, "Hey guys, what if all of this nonsense going on with Star Wars wasn't Kathleen Kennedy, but she's simply just a yes man, and she's doing exactly what Bob Iger said?" And you guys said, "You stupid Chester," you remember? Remember that? And now we're seeing a lot of people talking about that exact same thing. Huh. Interesting.
Bye-bye.
Could I spin around in my chair and say I was right, I was right, I was right? Can I do that? Can I do that?
Okay, Razor.
I'm sorry.
I'm glad you
I have
got
to, I
that
have
reference, Slick. Dude, I love you, man. That's awesome.
I only have one thing to say about Bob Iger. He has Shannon Doherty eyes.
He does.
What?
It's kind of sexy. Yeah.
You guys aren't old enough to remember Shannon Doherty. She's got wonky eyes, and so does Bob.
Yeah, no, I remember who she is, dude. But the thing with this article, which I think the conversation isn't about this article. I think it's about the general, situation at Disney itself. Obviously, they're not going to go bankrupt, but they have made some very, very poor choices, seemingly.
Yeah,
Uh,
bro, I agree, man. That's wild.
I
I've
know.
been really enjoying the stream. I've been here this whole time. It's been awesome, guys. We're
Uh,
doing really well on this stream. I'm having a blast
so
here.
Then
you
why?
woke,
Then why do we need? Then why do we need you, Booster?
yeah.
Booster.
Because I've been here the whole time.
So you woke up at 2:30
And
in the afternoon and decided to crawl onto the stream, huh?
crawl on you, you dick.
Yeah, right.
What? Okay. All right. All right. All
That's
right.
that was very homoerotic. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, he's the
Yeah.
ultra hetero, right? But but anyway, but we had someone, I forget who it was, might have been DeWolf actually. Someone made a comment the other day because I think it was on the Pontificators for the very short time I was there. I basically kind of just threw out my entire end for my thing, the concept that we're talking about because I had to leave. But you know. But I think it was might have been DeWolf that had said that well, what if they're just willing to take a hit to the money for a short period because they're trying to literally change culture? And once they've changed the culture, then on the other side, they can start making profit. Was that you that said that? Or was that
Yeah, I
Todd?
said something like that. Yeah.
I think it did. Yeah,
Sounds
but
like a
it was
Booster original quote.
Uh-huh. But I mean, what about that? What do you guys think about that? Is that a potentially accurate thing to say? You think?
Here's the
Well,
problem.
mm,
Disney might be losing some money in some ways where they have to cut Bob Iger's pay or whatever. Or maybe he offered to do that, I would assume. But the reality of it is the thing that they're selling isn't what we're buying. The thing they're selling is to the stock market. They're trying to keep their stock high as possible. Until that dips significantly, like the big word there, um, they're not really going to panic. So they'll keep doing what they're doing because they have an agenda to push. Now, whether or not it's to make profit later on the back end, if that's the case, they're complete morons because it's not working and it's not going to work because the culture is not changing and in fact is violently lashing against them and against these continual and continuous pushes for more and more and
Mm,
more and more of their leftist nonsense. And it's going to keep getting worse and worse and worse, I think. And I think, like I've been saying, by 2022, 2023, they'll have abandoned this for the most part, and
yeah.
they'll go back to just making mass appeal nonsense that they can easily milk for tons of money. I mean,
Can, can I interject something?
yeah, go ahead.
Please. Yeah.
No,
What
not
one
allowed.
thing you can't one thing you can't forget is, right, there's to some degree we're attached, right? So for
Sure.
instance, you could use like Star Wars for an example. We were attached. We had hours and hours of enjoyment through the toy. All the peripheral stuff gave us so much enjoyment, even video games, by the way. So when we didn't get what we expected, we reacted. And it's really a bad culture because why why not breed? It's like you want this in comics, you want them to breed new fans and do new things and stuff. But but why not in your movies and why not in your franchises?
Mm.
You don't, because you want what you're attached to.
Yeah,
And
nostalgia.
it's like you can't, right, and you can't let go of that feeling. So when you're disappointed by what you got, even though there might have been, okay, for instance, it did $1 billion, right? So even though there are a lot of people that went, oh, awesome, they tied that up good, blah blah blah, you're like, fuck, they never really did what I wanted with Luke and this. And I agree, because we're attached.
Mhm.
And you can't detach yourself from those feelings, that nostalgia, and a lot of times that curbs your growth to see past. And I'm not talking about the woke stuff and all that. I get all that, but I'm talking about with certain things you can't. Oh, like for instance, if a new a version of what's the thing you talked about where the guys on Battleship Yamada.
Yeah,
Well, it wasn't
Yamato.
what
Yeah,
you wanted. Yeah, yeah, it was something they thought their audience wanted, right?
they
And
were
so the
very
people who
wrong,
have that
but yeah,
attachment. Well, right, but I'm using just examples
yeah,
of,
yeah, yeah.
you know, sometimes it's trial and error, right? Who would have thought Stranger Things would appeal to the number of people it appeals to? It appeals to us because it has some of those things, whether nostalgic or, oh, this is a lot like Goonies or this or that and the other. It has a lot of things we like, but it wasn't. Let's face it, it wasn't made for me and you.
No, it wasn't.
And
But
that,
that was
and
cool
it,
that the young people liked that, though. I thought that was pretty cool.
right. So this is all. Come on, this is really all trial and error. The Doctor Who, they thought, oh, perfect time. We'll do our first female. I don't know why they don't reverse course. There's been plenty of other doctors that only lasted one season, I guess. I don't know. I don't know for sure. But I mean, it's
Yes, there are.
even your base does not like her. And it's not because she's a bad actress, from what I'm understanding. She acts very well, but but her portrayal of the character is not what they wanted or expect from a doctor. It's too different. It's too, I guess they call it wishy-washy, and a little, I don't know, too, I
Well, she
forgot
kind
what
of comes off like a retarded 2-year-old. So yeah, whatever that
Mm,
is.
right.
mm.
Right, right. It's like she's not they didn't give you a strong female. They gave you kind of like your stereotypical female, and that's not what you want in a doctor.
Yeah,
And
she's
it's
she's a
unfortunate.
low rent knockoff David Tennant with daddy issues and like a hatred for white men.
Slade,
Yeah,
Yeah,
Well,
never
I hate
what
mention
I
women
was
too.
talking
never
about.
mention Whitaker in the same sentence with David Tennant again. Or I swear to God, I will send Booster after you, dude. I
so
will put him in
that's
his
my
tight
whole
little
I'm
thing.
not
ass
saying that
ninja
she's
suit,
David
and he
Tennant.
will
I'm saying
not
that
thaw the ocean.
she's aping David Tennant. That's what she's
Yeah, I
doing.
know what
I'll
she's
be
doing.
making you
I
scream,
agree.
Yamcha,
And
Yamcha.
I don't.
It's
There
kind of
there
what
are
I was saying
certain.
before, though, where talking
Yamate
about specifically
Gambaro,
Whitaker,
really?
talking about specifically Jodie Whittaker. She's trying to be a version, basically like David Tennant. You're right, and it doesn't work. And the reason it doesn't work is because she's not David Tennant.
Right.
She's not a man.
And she's
It
not a
will
man,
never.
and she's nowhere near as she doesn't have the
No,
comedic timing, she
she
doesn't
doesn't
have
have
the
it. No,
presence, she doesn't have any of that shit.
no. I mean, David Tennant's one of the best actors on the planet. No joke. Like you could put him on that list
Yeah, he is
easy.
good.
He,
Yeah,
he'd belong there.
yeah.
So she's not even in. She doesn't
Mm-hmm.
even, have enough talent to hold his underwear. So I mean, it's ridiculous the night and day comparison there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate women too.
hmm That was probably
Uh,
the worst pronunciation I've ever heard in my life, Booster. Just so you know, that was pretty bad. That was really bad.
Which one? Well, you
Yeah,
didn't like my Yamada,
Yamaro, Yamate, Gam,
Yamada.
Gambaru.
I've always said it really American. Yamato. That's how I say it.
Oh, Yamato. Oh, I see. I see.
Yamato. That's what I've always said. Yamato. Do you guys want me to tell you a story about that?
Sure.
Yes.
When I was a kid, back in the 70s when I was a kid, I'd get up at 6 in the morning every morning to watch Star Blazers, was what they called it in America.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I watched
Star
that
Blazer.
religiously. It's my favorite show, and I
Yeah,
didn't
me
even
too.
realize it was from Japan. It was just cool.
That was awesome, dude. Yeah, and they did a remake of Yamato. I don't know about like 12, 13, 14 years ago or something like that. It is epic, dude. Really, really,
Yeah,
really a lot of love in it.
it
If you
was
guys
really
haven't
good.
seen it, yeah, go check it out. But yeah,
Yeah,
Yamato's awesome. But Booster, he just sucks. It's okay. It's all right.
yeah.
What are we doing?
Anybody who hasn't gone out there
Uh,
and got it, invest in it. Buy the the two main series and buy the new stuff.
Yeah.
It's all worth it. It's one of the greatest anime ever put together, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
But never watch that live action piece of trash because it's
Yeah,
depressing. But
yeah.
let's move on away from Bob Iger. He's depressing me with his wonky eyes. Oh no,
Look
Fandom
at that.
Wire. What's going on? I've
What
never
was it?
heard you before, but
Oh
you've
no,
got an
you
exclusive.
don't have Star Wars news. You're gonna trigger Todd. He's
Oh,
like, this is fake
Oh
news. He's gonna start dropping f bombs at people. It's just gonna be
well,
a
no, this is not even a true article, by the way.
yeah, it
There's nothing. It isn't. There's nothing.
is.
There was never a release date for this show,
True.
and they update and say it was delayed. Well, if you didn't have a release date, then you can't have a delay. But you could have like an incident, like oh he broke his arm, and we were gonna head this, starting it next week, but we'll have to wait till his arm heals.
Yeah.
But that's not even the case.
Technicalities,
So
technicalities.
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is a
No,
complete.
I agree with you, Todd. I do. And that's why I'm not going to talk about the canceled thing. That's not my intention of putting this up. What I want to talk about is why they're having so much trouble with it. Because they've been trying to get this off the ground for years, right?
hmm
And we keep getting these little bits of unconfirmed news, just like Todd said. There is no confirmation of anything. There hasn't been, but it sounds like Ewan McGregor wants to do it. All right, everything I've heard from him is he's happy to do it. He's excited about it. But we constantly getting these. It's coming. It's not coming. It's coming. It's not coming. Over and over and over, and it's like, what the hell are you having so much trouble with this for? Ewan McGregor's a
Family show.
Oh, because I said the word hell. Damn it, DeWolf.
No, the previous to that. Never mind.
Oh, did I said another bad word? Oh well, it's okay. I'm glad you're here, Dad. But the the thing is, my question is, why are they having so much trouble? This should be like an easy slam dunk, dude.
Because they haven't gotten rid of Kathleen Kennedy yet. That's obvious.
She's that much against male. You think that she just doesn't want to see a male lead?
I
Really?
would not be surprised.
They could do the story where you had fell in love with a Mandalorian lady, and there would be there you have a
Yeah,
female co-star right there, right?
yeah. I get the feeling that she doesn't have her fingers in that very much in the Mandalorian.
Well, I'm just saying, if you got to have a female, you can't just have Obi-Wan, right? I mean, they'll do that storyline. That's it. Actually, it was a pretty interesting story.
Mm,
I don't know. I just don't
uh,
get it. I don't get it. This should have been done already. We should have got this before that damn Solo movie.
I think that there's problems within Lucasfilm right now. I mean, I think there's real dissension and chaos as to what's really going on. I think their pipeline. There's been changes. They've made mistakes. Now, the Rise of Skywalker just hit $1 billion,
Yeah.
but they spent a lot more money than they spent a lot of money. So they haven't, made 3 times the amount, which is where you really start to make good money back within the industry. And so I don't even know if they've doubled their money.
Yeah.
I really don't
Well,
know with all the.
No, there a lot of the you got to remember that this is 3 movies. A lot of your assets are already built. Uh, this is easily
Well,
going to
what I'm
make up
no. Well, here's the
most.
problem. I mean, I, I I hate to
Vision.
say this, but I used to be in the business, not a lot, but I've made a few things. And what happened with the Rise of Skywalker, there was a bunch of stuff going on. They shot a lot more stuff than they wanted to shoot. They were
yeah.
trying to figure it out. They spent a lot more money on that film, and if you notice, there's no spreading around of actually how much they spent, but they spent probably in the neighborhood of $500 million, and then they had a not distribution, but a advertisement on top of that.
Mhm.
They spent a lot of money, and they did not make back what they wanted to, and that goes for all the other films. The only one that really made serious money was Force Awakens. Um, you know, even though all of them are $1 billion films, they spent 4.3 or 4.5 billion on the franchise itself. And if
Never
you look,
forget the advertising. Advertising
Yeah.
adds up a
yeah,
lot as well.
How sad is
yeah,
it
Well,
that a
and
billion dollars can't be profitable? Ooh, that's scary, dude.
well, and that's
Mm.
because they didn't. This is all due to management and planning in the initial stages of the trilogy, and this is
yep.
what's caused it. They've Because everything's disjointed within the trilogy. The fan base has been split. there's a lot of people have just abandoned it. They're tired of it. And that goes for a lot of other franchises, but namely this one. But this was a big like purchase. This is something that Disney was putting a lot of eggs in the basket over this one, and they still have Marvel, but we still have to see what's going to happen with Phase 4. I mean, this is Disney's worried, and plus the stuff that they invested in their theme parks has not panned out how they wanted it to. Merchandise has not sold.
Yeah, that's a big
They are in
problem.
trouble.
Yeah. You know,
And I mean,
Well, look at
yeah,
look at Marvel. They bought Marvel halfway between their stories. So the vision was already in place.
that's right.
What was going to happen was already laid out. They had an outline. This was the vision. And then when they bought Star Wars, there was no vision. Star Wars
Yeah,
was already
shocking.
made. Prequels were already made. They had nothing actually in the works. There was no writing. There was no story. There was no vision of what a new trilogy was. There actually was a little bit of one. Lucas had it, and he handed it over to them, and he said, "This is the material I have." And someone had their ego and said, "No, we know what we're doing better than you."
Mm. You
But
know,
when they did that, they put
I,
out Force Awakens. Force Awakens only made money on the backs of the originals. And then since there was no vision, it just went downhill from there. And that's what it is. You always have to have a look at Peter Jackson with the Lord of the Rings. Absolutely huge, absolute vision. It's what you require.
yeah. Well, the interesting little thing, just an aside to what Slick had said, from what I understand, the average movie, at least AAA movie, shoots about 1.5 movies in actual film, right? But watching Midnight's Edge, they said that JJ shot 5 full movies worth of film.
yeah,
Oh my word.
they shot ridiculous amounts, and they also did a lot. From what I understand, they did a lot of what they call previs of the 3D, and they went far into the previs, which means they got it looked fairly good. That they didn't do the finishing touches, and then had to pick and choose between those shots. But they did a lot of that. That's tons and tons of man hours, which they're expending. I mean, so just shooting itself is probably going to be a lot if they shot that much footage, and then they have to do the stuff on top of it to do the finishing, so they have something they can look at and make pick and choose for like the editing phase. I wouldn't be surprised if in in the future there might be stuff that is dropped, or they show just as the spirit of the age goes away, where people aren't as tight with the control of what's going on. They might release it someday of all the stuff that they put together to try to get to fix the mess that Ryan Johnson did, and that's what they were trying to do. It's
5
obvious.
years? I mean,
See, I'd have
five
to,
movies?
I'd
Five
have
movies
Well,
worth of material is like that's
Yeah.
the old adage of 1,000 monkeys banging on typewriters for 1,000 years to come up with Macbeth.
well, I mean, when you look at all those the leaks that they had, I mean, obviously all the stuff that they mentioned in those leaks. If you listen to like what's his name, the Overlord guy, what's his name?
Doomcock.
Anyway, Doomcock. There we go. When you listen to what he went through, I mean, all the stuff was there. What we saw in the Rise of Skywalker, but there was a whole bunch of other stuff that obviously hit the cutting room floor, and a lot of threads that weren't answered within the Rise of Skywalker. That just seemed like things don't hang right. That it's just disjointed. It feels rushed and hurried. Obviously, they were trying to fix this thing, and it just didn't come out right. Although what they did have in the film, I mean, every footage I've seen is actually quite beautiful. It's just, again, they lack narrative. And when you have three films that don't really hang together at all, J.J. Abrams, who's not a good closer in his stuff, was
No.
doing his best to fix it, and this is what we got. And we
You
got a mess.
to be fair, a lot of people are actually feeling a bit of sympathy for JJ, because it's
I
quite
don't feel
clear.
any at all.
Well, I'm just saying a lot of people do, because you can see very clearly in the movie that he's desperately trying to fix what Ryan Johnson did.
Well,
Yeah,
he's desperate. I get
yeah,
that,
yeah.
but I don't feel what he should have said is, if you want me to do this, We have to have an overarching thing that narrative, the structure that we can build upon. He didn't do that because he likes his mystery box. He likes
Mm,
this open-ended bullcrap. That's not how you build a trilogy. That's not how you build a saga. That's not how you do such things. And
true.
it just shows the mentality in Hollywood of a lot of the filmmakers now. They don't know basic storytelling. Uh, um, well,
Yeah.
things like
Well, come on,
Joseph
Slick.
Campbell. No, I no. Are you
There wasn't one perfect Star Wars movie. There
well?
wasn't
That
one.
okay? There's not one perfect Star Wars movie, but I
Excuse
mean, if
me,
you
excuse
Uh,
me. The
No,
holiday
story
special is
wise.
absolutely
Hmm.
spectacular. How dare you,
however,
sir?
there's not a perfect movie either. So
yeah, explain
I'm
to
gonna
me
if you want to go
the
that way,
deep faults in The Empire Strikes Back. What are they?
Yeah.
Oh
Ooh,
my
oh.
God, the conversation between Ben and Luke, and just
What about it?
come on. There's a lot of
well,
story problems in
n-
there. Even the fact that,
are you playing devil's advocate?
I well, no, I get what he's saying, and of
no,
course he's
no,
right.
no.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, yeah, it's like I'm saying, you can't let go. You were so in because you were young like
Are
we
you
were.
saying me?
No, I'm just in general. People can't
because
let go of
because
what.
I do have some nostalgia for the films. There's
Yeah,
no doubt. I grew up on
right.
those. I went to
Absolutely
them.
too.
All right. However, I do see the flaws in each one of the primal films. I do see them. That's fine,
Right.
and that's okay. They are good for what they are. However, these films here, although they're beautifully shot, they're crafted very well visually. The stories, and there is such a thing as proper storytelling that goes across almost every culture, and these stories are not well done, even for deconstructions. The Last Jedi, if it didn't have all the lore and all the legacy that goes with it, you might have been able to get away with it, but it's still kind of a meh ending,
Yeah.
so
No,
what
Yeah.
what I'm saying is each one of the stories, every one of them, we're talking the three sequels, the story narratives are just not, they don't hang well. There's a way to build a story, and even though people say, well, that's boring, no, if you do it right, it has a fulfilling aspect. I mean, there's a reason why people watch rom-coms over and over and over and over. It's because it fulfills a niche for especially females.
it-
But we also do the same thing with our action adventures.
It needed
We
more
know when it's
skin.
good.
right.
Well,
And the one thing that you don't like, you're left with, or at least I'm left with, is I would have liked to have seen the progression of Kylo Ren like shown more in flashbacks.
Well,
I
I
I
And
really
then you
I,
might
think
have
I,
been
I
like,
agree.
but
I
you never like care about him, and you didn't care about Daisy until this very actually last movie is the only time I cared about her character.
I didn't. Yeah,
yeah.
I
A
didn't
lot
even
of
then.
hinged, a
Well,
lot of hinged on what she did
yeah,
and what she
no,
went through. So
true, but I mean, and I get what you're saying, but the problem, I think the biggest problem with the series is Kylo Ren. I know everyone talk about Ray because she's flat and she's emotionless and she's kind of useless as an actress. I mean, I get all that, but Kylo Ren
right,
is could easily had been the anchor to the entire series, and it's just the absolute crap character, dude. That is the biggest problem I think with the series. But you guys aren't asking the right
right.
question anyway. You're really not. The right question is this: Booster, Booster,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah,
Booster, did
Huh? Huh?
Booster, did you
yeah.
did you like the way I said Doomcock?
I liked it. I'm not gonna lie. The reason I've been so quiet is because I had to deal with my excitement.
There you go. Next.
Mm.
All
No more
right,
Star Wars
We got
news.
off. We got off in the weeds there, didn't we?
You,
we
you
did
old
that.
people
That
keep
was
whinging
that.
about Star Wars. My
I
God.
fixed it. Shut up. All right, here we go. Now this
Send
right,
super chats, please. I'm trying to grow my channel into an anti-Star Wars channel
right.
because for some reason I love Star Wars, but I do nothing but bitch about it 24/7.
It's true. Well,
Send super chats.
one of the things one of these guys said early in the conversation just happened, I think is the most important point. We are, I think it's Todd. We are attached to it, dude. We grew up with it. We love it, and we want it to be great. And it hurts that
It
it
goes even
doesn't,
deeper than
dude.
that, Chester. It goes even deeper than that. There's a video I was trying to find it, but I can't remember who put it out. He's a well known conservative culture critic, and he basically says the reason why it hurts so much to watch them destroy Star Wars the way they did, he says it's intentional, I agree with him, is because Star Wars became a religion, a secular religion for Americans. It was
Yeah.
extremely important to our entire generation, 2, 3, 4 generations worth of Americans.
Yeah.
I
And
wouldn't just say Americans. I would say all of the Anglosphere got into Star Wars.
true,
Oh,
indeed,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I'd say it's really hard centered in America and in Canada, like right this North America, I should say. There's a reason why like The Force Awakens made ridiculous, almost almost $1 billion or over $1 billion in America alone. It's because it really was. It was a cultural pillar for this country and for the people of this country and the entire English-speaking world, like he said. And they just went in there and they purposefully cut the legs out from under
I
it.
agree.
Now you
Yeah.
can talk about
Yeah.
all these different reasons why this, that, or whatever. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, they did it,
Yeah.
and it's never coming back. They will never be able to repair that. That damage was literal trauma to many people. They'll
Yeah.
never get over it.
And I do believe that conservative speaker who said that was probably Ricky Gervais. So, next.
Next, rumor Greg Berlanti is discussing adapting the 52 limited series as the next big Arrowverse event. Wow. Stay the fuck away from that, Greg, you piece of shit. 52 is one of my absolute favorite events in comics.
Now,
Stay away from it, you prick.
We're talking about the new 52, right?
No, 52. It's just called 52, right?
Well,
There's
why
a,
are you confusing
series
me?
that came. Well, if you like to explain this, man. So it's a little series that came out in about 2005 after Infinite Crisis, because after the events of Infinite Crisis, they pushed back all of the other comics in continuity by a year, right? But then they had 52 to kind of bridge that year gap, because for a year Superman had no powers. Batman was out of action and Wonder Woman was doing whatever, right? And so we had a bunch of stories regarding, B-listers and even C-listers. And we had a great story revolving around Black Adam, who was just trying to protect Kandak, or whatever you call his place, right? He's just trying to do his own thing. He falls in love and then he gets betrayed. You had Ray, what's it, Miss Montoya, whatever her name is, being a disciple under the Question, and we had an awesome Booster Gold story, which is the story that made me love this character. And I just want him to stay away from this. I don't like him. I don't like him. I don't like CW. Stay away from my Booster Gold and Black Adam.
I think Greg Berlanti and a whole cadre of people from Hollywood right now should be sent to St. Helena's and interred in the same place that Napoleon was until they die.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan. And I love when the old references come out. It's really, really nice, especially when Boucher doesn't understand anything. That's the best. It's the best. I thought this might have been. Yeah, right. I thought this might have been some interesting thing. I don't care. Next. God.
Next. Freaking CW.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
No, I'm just kidding. With this 52, I didn't know about that because I'm more of a Marvel guy, but because I just thought it was a new 52, I was like, huh? But no, that's interesting. And I read this little thing down here where it's talking about they had the Everyman Project and a more street hero type of thing, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, the problem is not that. The problem is Greg Berlanti. Yeah, and I agree with him. Yeah, but we do need to kind of pick it up and finish the show today. And the last little thing we got here, go ahead and read the headline, Booster.
What was this? GQ writer Sophia, what was that? Benoit targets 1917.
Benoit.
You
She's
absolute
Benoit.
hack.
It's French. It's French.
She doesn't deserve it. Where are the stories about not white men's lives?
All right.
Oh yeah, we'll tell those stories about the not white men in World War One. Great idea, love.
Go to China and there's plenty of them.
You dumb bitch.
Yeah.
What do you want? Go look at foreign films. Why does America have to fucking freaking?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm swearing all over the place.
You
Why
are.
do they have to cut out like every single culture stories? Why does America have to be every single culture? What's up with these people?
Well,
there
first
are
of
other
all,
cultures. Go to them.
Yes, exactly. And the thing is, Sophia Benoit, is that
Benoit.
there are many stories that are not about white men. as Booster had so eloquently said. There's
Yeah.
movies made from countries all over the world about their culture. And the thing with Hollywood that you might not understand there, Sophia, it's in America and the West in general, it is the white people's homeland, right? Do you not understand this? I know America was still conquered. I
What?
get that, but it's ours now. It's ours
Guys,
now,
get over it, love.
right?
What
Why
is this?
is
Victor's complex? What is this?
why
Yeah.
is Sophia Benoit writing for Gentleman's Quarterly?
Yeah, right, right. But GQ is absolutely an
Oh,
absolute
I know
trash
it's a
thing, dude. It's
disaster.
it's disaster. Yeah. But here's the thing. There's a lot of people cracking on 1917 because it has no women in it. But this movie, which from what I understand was just shy of being an absolutely like a epic for the ages type of movie. That's how good it is. It's just shy of that, right? This
Hmm.
movie is basically about a brother, a soldier, running across a battlefield trying to save his brother, right? That's what the movie's about. And you're going to complain that there's no women in the middle of the trenches of World War One? Really? Really?
No,
Didn't we already
blacks.
have one about the trenches of World War One with a woman? I think there
Yeah,
was.
freaking Wonder Woman.
There we go. So she
Yeah.
should be quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just dumb. This is a historical piece, and the historical. If we're going to do a historical thing, well, then be historic about it. And in
Yes, be
general,
accurate.
men go on the battlefield, women stay home and protect the babies. You see, there's a just a crazy bit of logic going on there.
I
Um,
don't know. Maybe they should make that movie. Maybe they could make something interesting out of that. I don't know. Maybe those movies exist for all I know, but they could probably do some weird little period piece drama story, and all the women are all catty and
yeah,
they do
true,
whatever
true.
women do with their spare time. I don't know. I don't pay attention to them. I don't like
Yeah, but it's just dumb thing that I
Oh my
saw that I
god,
put up here. Uh,
dumbass.
them.
it's so ridiculous. And she has a little tweeter here. She says, "I'm not upset that there weren't many women in the movie in 1917. I effing get that. There were not very many women in the transit. The question is, why does that story keep getting told? Because it's
Yeah, the most
interesting,
well-known story, World War One, very famously told over and over again, right?
right? Yeah. Well, World War II has a lot more movies than World War One, to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
fair.
Yeah,
World War
way
One
more.
has
Um,
very
I think
few. I was
Vietnam
gonna.
has way more
That's
movies
what I'm
than World
talking
War
about.
One.
maybe.
That's what I was talking about. World War One has very few movies about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very few.
And
World
this
War Two,
isn't.
hundreds.
Yeah, but see, this isn't even a World War One movie, really.
Everyone prefers the sequel.
Right? Everyone does. But and then
The
the
greatest
part
sequel of
three,
all
right?
time.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
Because
we're
the
waiting for that.
sequel has a memorable bad guy and a
but
great mustache.
but what I'm trying to say is the movie's not really a war movie per se. It's not really a World War One movie at all. I mean, it is, but it's not. It's
That
a
brotherly love.
It is. It's about a brother desperately trying to save his brother. It's just set in there. It's not about we're going to take this battle at this moment and this point in history. It's not like that. It's a different type of approach, which is cool. See, I think that's clever. You're taking something that has been done a lot, the standard war movie, and you're putting a spin on it. See, now that's what you should have talked about, Sophia. You should have talked about how clever the movie was in trying to be different instead of just being angry and saying "ree." That would have been better.
Yes.
No, I don't know.
All right. Before we hop off, Chester, we got any more news?
What news?
I don't know. Are you done with the news? I'm just
I am
wondering.
done with the news. I am.
You're
Yeah.
all done with the news? Do you mind if I talk about Larry's campaign real quick?
Oh yeah. Well, let me bring it up while you do. Yeah, we were looking at
I
it
will.
earlier. Yeah.
Oh, you were looking at it earlier. Have you seen
Yeah.
how much my boy has been making?
Well, he's got $2,000 up so far.
Yeah, he's 66% done, and he just launched it yesterday.
Yeah, that's
My boy
awesome.
Larry is kicking ass with this. So
Well,
you gotta check it out, boys.
I think people like Niobe. I think it's interesting. There's always been good buzz around it. But go ahead, continue.
I just really want to display how well it's at 58 backers. I think it's a $40 average it's being backed at. It's 66% funded, so it's well on its way to being funded, boys.
Yeah.
So get on it, will you?
Is he on Indicron?
Yes, he was actually
Yeah.
the very first Kickstarter project to be on IndieCron.
Oh, that's okay. Yep.
Pixel's
Pixel. Yeah.
integrating Kickstarter on it
He
now.
is. Yeah, that's right. He came out and announced that the other day.
Yeah,
So yeah, no, definitely check this out, guys. It's an interesting project. The art's pretty cool. It's got an interesting protagonist for sure. Check it out. All right, but we are come to the end of the show. Let me go see if the chat is saying anything. Mostly, they're kind of just been chatting to each other here today. Let me see here. Why is Chick writing for Gentleman's Quarterly? Yeah, right, Metal.
yeah.
Uh, we doggies, howdy folks. That's from Brian. Jeremy
Right.
says, that's good and all, but Larry is from Canada, so that's a tough sell for me. That's true.
Yes,
That's a fair
yeah.
point.
That you're gonna have to get past it. If you can stomach that, then I really hope you can back Niobe Birthright.
Yeah,
He's
If
one
you
of the good
can't, I
Canadians. I know
understand.
they're not. I
Yeah.
know they're few and far between, but he's one of the good
that's
ones.
true. That's true.
Mm-hmm. We have a very good Canadian in Larry.
But we might have to hold him responsible for the rest of his brothers and sisters, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, yeah. I'm gonna hit him in
he
the
holds
DMs
it on his
about that.
shoulders. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He is like Atlas.
Cool.
that's right.
All right.
He's almost like the Canadian Shield.
Well, anyway, let's go ahead and work our way out of here. Let me see. Let's start with Booster. Booster, give your closing comments today. Who wants to do a namaste today? Who wants to do that?
Oh, let's hear it from Jimmy because he has a sexy voice. I want him to do a
Okay.
No,
sexy
no, I
Yeah.
don't know about
namaste.
that.
No, you don't want to do
Yeah.
that. You could
You
do
don't
that.
you don't want to do a
You're sexy.
namaste?
I can do a sexy namaste if you want.
Yes, that's what we want.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we want.
Absolutely, yes.
We're
Sweet.
All
begging.
right.
All right.
Mhm.
Todd, have at it, sir.
You know, we've been doing this news what now? You've been doing this for almost a year and a
About
half, right?
year and a half,
About
I'd say.
September,
Yeah.
it'll be 2 years.
And and just to sum up my point before is, you know, I have the same nostalgia as all of you, and I also have worked in entertainment, not in Hollywood, but in Orlando when I lived in Florida.
I
But I
worked in
do,
strip clubs. I know all about entertainment.
and I do. One thing I always talk about is their egos. Even the type of person that goes into that type of field, they're huge. So when you expect that, when you hear news like, "Oh my God, we're going to be doing, Dark Knight Returns," and you're thinking, "Oh, great, awesome! I've been waiting for this," and that's not what you got. It's because you'll never will. You got to realize they're so detached. Comics in Hollywood are so detached. The reason why Marvel works because they've got it under their umbrella and they're in control. And it's not perfect, but damn it, what you wished for, you're getting. You're getting to see superheroes that you were able to suspend disbelief in, because if you really want to see something bad, go watch Roger Corman's Fantastic Four.
Oh no, that's just mean. All right, Thundero, chastise him.
Yeah, I would rather watch that Fantastic Four than anything Disney's put out in the last 6 years, say for two movies, and that's Infinity War. And actually, I don't know if Winter Soldier was the last 6 years, so that's about it. Other than that, I fundamentally disagree with everything he said. They knew what they were doing, they did it on purpose, and they're going to do it again until they have to stop, until their monetary supply is endangered, and then they'll stop. It's an agenda. Disney's been doing it for at least 30 years, probably longer. If you watch the Disney Channel, the same agenda plays out all the time. It's been SJW for longer than there was a term called SJW. They're not going to stop until they have to. And luckily, the culture's turning on them so hard that I think they're going to have to soon. That being said, I agree with Todd on many of the things he did say, that we are very attached to it. And in fact, that's one of the reasons people talk about it so much and why it literally hurts them so much, is because it became so important to us. It was our culture, whether you could say that's pathetic or not, some people might. That was the West culture, was Marvel and Star Wars and comic books and all that stuff. It was very Western, at least American, from its inception. They've killed it. They did it on purpose. Now, some people think it's so they can control the narrative and make money on the back end. I think they've got all the money. They don't really care. What they care about is losing stockholders. They care about the investors getting angry and pulling funding and their stock price going down. That's what they care about. And that's what we have to, if you want to see actual change in Hollywood, that's where the hits have to be. And that's where they're going to be very soon, I do believe. However, that being said, I think people need to realize that at the end of the day, that's not all our culture is. That's not all we are. We can be so much more, and we have been so much more in the past. Movies haven't always existed. Comic books haven't always existed. America existed long before that, and so did the West. We can get back to our roots and rebuild our culture on heroism, on exceptionalism, on aspirationalism, like it was built by these comic book creators and by the movies of including Star Wars, stoicism, especially in Star Wars. All these things can be rebuilt. We just have to have the will to do it, and we have to stop worrying about what the subversive elements in Hollywood and everywhere else wants us to do.
And shoot commies.
And
And
yes, and the
shoot
first thing to do
commies.
is
Yeah.
kill all commies. Do
Wow.
that, and you solve half the problem right there.
You know, well, thank you very much, all you guys. And the thing is, Thunder, the whole time we were talking, I couldn't get red velvet cake out of my head. I don't know why.
That's
I don't know.
beautiful. That's
Anyway,
beautiful, Pandora.
thank you. Yeah. But anyway, guys, thank you very much. Now, we need to make one decision before we go over to Slick and have him end the show for us. We have a TFT tomorrow, so what do we got to talk about, guys?
Ah, shit.
Booster, go.
Oh, that thing that Christian was talking about in that one episode of Justice League.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What have we done? Let's see. We started off.
Aglets.
We've done. We've done.
What is their sinister purpose?
We did cults. We never did get the sex cults, though. Strangely enough.
Yeah.
What else we got?
Well,
Mind the Gap.
Flat Earth.
Mind the Gap. Let me see here. Well, we could take a play off the cults.
MK Ultra?
No, we haven't done it specifically. No, we haven't.
Anything like that, like the CIA or anything? We kind of covered that in corruption, I suppose. So.
Yeah.
Hang on, I got a good idea. Something we haven't done yet. Not really. Specifically, let's do Bigfoot.
Oh, Bigfoot.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I could get
Oh,
behind
so we
that.
can cover like creatures and things, like Loch Ness monster and
no, just him, and the variations of him,
well,
and things
we
like
did.
that.
We did the cryptid show. We did a cryptid show. We did, but we haven't done specifically Bigfoot. Yeah, but if you do that though, Thundero, you know where I'm going to go. I'm going to go Lloyd Pye. I am, dude.
Urban legends.
All right, fine. Then tomorrow on TFT, Bigfoot. True or not? Conspiracy. Is the hair real? Did the DNA test come back? Oh, no. But anyway, thank you guys very much. And, of course, Slick is going to namaste us out of here. Go ahead, dude.
All right. My name is Slick Jimmy. And for those of you who don't know, I do have a comic book currently still in demand on Indiegogo. That's Little Girl Lethal. Story about a very damaging young lady, but beautiful. And she's in the wickedest city in the world, Lost Peaks. And you'll learn about her and her quest for vengeance. Go out and check it out. And here we go. Speaking of wicked, there ain't no rest for the wicked. And money don't grow on trees. You got bills to pay. You got mouths to feed. There ain't nothing in this world for free.
That's Cage
no,
the
you
Elephant.
can't slow down. And you can't hold back. Though you know we wish you could. There ain't no rest for the wicked until you close your eyes for good. And you're screwing up my namaste. Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste indeed. All right. Thank you guys. Later.
Aloha.